I think this is definitely leading on nicely to me understanding what is leadership for you. Like when I say leadership, when you hear leadership, what is it for you? What is it?
Well, obviously leadership is many things in different contexts, but I'm obviously going to answer in that way, having a philosophical background. But generally speaking, I think leadership is getting the people that follow you to understand and internalize the vision and to prioritize the necessary actions in order to achieve that vision. And at the same time, empower the people that follow you to realize things in themselves they never realized before in order to fulfill that vision. And I think that is generic enough to apply in any context. And that means you could lead from the front, you could lead from the back. It means so many different things. Because what I realized in my experience as CEO in IERA, which by the way I didn't choose to become the CEO, it was forced upon me.
Good.
And which is really well, you know, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever seeks his affair is not from us, right? From the point of view that you don't seek leadership. It's not, obviously there are contexts. Sometimes you may have the skills, you know, to lead when your leadership is necessary, and therefore there's a moral duty for you to lead. But in this case, I actually didn't even believe I had the skills, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things. But you know what? Experiences make you. Sometimes experiences bring the best out of you, you know? So, you know, when I was almost forced to become CEO in IERA, I realized that a lot of things that you need to do is see things in people that you can't see themselves. And that gets you, it's moving when you see people, you know, have awakenings. They're like, wow, I didn't see that. I can't achieve that. And that takes, I think that takes emotional and spiritual empathy. I think you have to have some kind of emotional intelligence to get that out of people. For example, our fundraising manager, I remember, you know, IERA's fundraising situation wasn't the best. We're doing relatively okay, but we had some old school methods. And at that time, about 3 years ago now, you know, we had a fundraising kind of assistant who was supporting the fundraising and marketing team. He was like, oh, bro, Hamza. And I wasn't CEO then. He was like, you know, this is the new trend, social media marketing. This is, you know, let's follow the data kind of thing. And he gave me some advice. He said, if you get me this training, I think we're going to do something good. I said, look, I'll try my best. I spoke to the CEO of the time, and there wasn't much buying. So when I became CEO, I actually trusted him. I trusted our fundraising. Now he's our fundraising manager. I trusted him, and I said, look, let's do this. So I had to convince the board for money to send him to Canada for training, to, you know, get him to understand social media fundraising and social media marketing, understand the algorithm. He already had a really good intuition about how to produce really good videos for fundraising. Anyway,
how did you know, though, to trust him or not? Because that's a risk, right? You're going to go against what the board and everyone wants.
So what? Well, if you don't take risks, what are you going to do? You might as well stay at home, man. The whole point of leadership is risks, bro. And, you know, you just have to trust your intuition sometimes.
What do you mean by that? It's
okay, risks. So say I'm speaking to you and I want to get the best out of you, bro. All the signs you've given me is that you're a terrible, terrible, say, fundraising manager. That's all the signs you've given me. But I'm stuck with you. So what do? I see the great fundraising manager in you. I see the goodness in you. I'm like, you know what? He's a human being with 2 legs and 2 arms, so he could achieve what anyone else can achieve, right? Let's empower him to the degree that he could see that in himself and he could reach that. So that's what you have to do. You have to see that. Even if all the signs are like, you know what, this guy is not good enough, you have to understand even your own limitations, because my perceptions of your incompetence is still my limited perceptions. It's based on my own limited drama. So I have to also understand, see, in understanding your own limitations, bro, you realize other people's greatness.
Okay. In understanding your own limitations, you realize other people's greatness. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so I'm using my limited experience and limited understanding and limited intuitions and limited whatever, right? I'm imposing on you because all the signs I've seen so far and the way I've interpreted them from my limited experiences, limited knowledge, limited understanding is telling me you can never be a fundraising manager, right? But I know their limitations. So what I need to do is divorce that drama I've created on you as a reality and actually say, no, there can be a new realm of possibility for this guy. Let me treat him as a blank canvas. Right, he's a blank canvas. What do? I see the great fundraising manager in him. I think about what are the key things that he needs to become the fundraising manager, to become a great fundraising manager, and I push him to do that. And that sometimes means encouragement. When you think, you know what, encouragement is never going to work. Well, how do you know? Try it, right? So you encourage, you give people training, you inspire, you give people a vision. You almost say to them, I trust you so much, bro. I know you can get this done. And you create such an environment of psychology behind him that he starts to believe it in himself, even though that he thinks he doesn't know he can do it. And then when it happens, it'll be the most empowering moment of his life. He'll be like, wow.
So what
let me give you an example, bro. Yeah? I did the Dawah course ages ago in Bolton or Blackburn. And, you know, the Dawah training course was a lot about empowering people. And alhamdulillah, you know, a lot of credit goes to you for developing that model, because you're all about empowering others. May Allah bless you, right? So when there was a sister in the corner of the room, and I used to choose the people that would look vulnerable and look like they couldn't speak. What's the point of getting people to speak when they couldn't really speak? There's no point. So I said, right, you stand up and you go through the whole method. And I'm telling you, bro, she was like shaking. She was stuttering. She couldn't do it. She's trying to read the book. I said, put the book down, the booklet. Put the book down. She failed, bro. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if I leave her here now, I'm finished. I mean, she's finished. It might scar her for the rest of her life. So we tried it again. Didn't work. Bro, I'm telling you, yeah, I had to have faith. I said, I know you can do it. You can do it better than me. And I'm telling you, all the signs were, forget it, mate. Tell her to go home, kind of thing. I think we did it 6 times, bro.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, on the 6th time, it was beautiful. It's like I shocked myself as well. I was like, wow. And she did it almost better than me. Would you believe it? And I was like, I told you. And it was so inspirational for everybody else, because now they saw themselves in her. She had a lived experience. She fell on the floor 6 times, or around that number, if you like, and she bounced back up and she did it better than she could ever imagine. I said to her, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you could do this and you didn't know? Right? So this is another like kind of small example to bring that point home.